horror school story. In the quaint, unassuming town of Maplewood, an old schoolhouse stood as a relic of the past, its dark history largely forgotten by the younger generation. This crumbling building, once the pride of the community, had become an object of morbid curiosity and whispered legends. The school had been abandoned for decades after a series of unexplained disappearances and unsettling occurrences led to its closure. Locals spoke of the school with a shudder, recounting tales of children vanishing and ghostly apparitions. Despite the town's collective attempt to forget, a group of teenagers, Emma, Jake, and Lily, decided to investigate the notorious schoolhouse, driven by a mix of youthful bravado and skepticism. The trio had grown up hearing the ghost stories but had always dismissed them as mere fabrications. Determined to debunk the myths, they planned a daring nighttime exploration, armed with flashlights, cameras, and a relentless sense of curiosity. As twilight gave way to darkness, the schoolhouse loomed before them, its silhouette casting long, menacing shadows. The building, overgrown with ivy and shrouded in a thick fog, seemed almost to breathe with a life of its own. The trio exchanged nervous glances but pressed forward, stepping through the creaking door that had not been opened in years. Inside, the schoolhouse was a maze of decay. The once bright hallways were now dark and cold, their walls lined with peeling paint and grimy, faded murals. Dust motes danced in the beams of their flashlights, and the silence was punctuated only by the distant drip of water and the occasional scurry of rats. The air was thick with a sense of foreboding, a tangible presence that seemed to watch their every move. The group decided to split up, each taking a different part of the building to cover more ground. Emma ventured into the old classrooms, her flashlight illuminating broken desks and torn textbooks. As she walked through the eerie stillness, she felt a chill run down her spine. The air seemed to grow colder with each step, and she began to hear faint, disembodied whispers. The voices grew louder, forming incoherent murmurs that sent shivers through her body. Jake explored the school's old gymnasium, a cavernous space filled with rusting equipment and rotting wooden bleachers. His flashlight flickered, casting erratic shadows that seemed to move of their own accord. As he examined the dark corners of the gym, he felt an unsettling sensation, as if something or someone was following him. His breaths came in short, panicked bursts, and he could hear faint echoes of children's laughter that grew more insistent and mocking. Lily made her way to the library, a dusty room filled with old books and forgotten knowledge. The library was dimly lit by the weak beam of her flashlight, and she found herself drawn to a corner of the room where a hidden door was partially obscured by a fallen stack of books. Pushing aside the debris, she discovered a small room behind the door, filled with strange symbols and occult artifacts. In the center of the room lay an old journal, its pages yellowed with age. The journal belonged to a former teacher, Ms. Harrington, who had mysteriously disappeared years before the school's closure. The entries were frantic and disjointed, revealing disturbing details about the school's history. Ms. Harrington had documented her growing fear of supernatural occurrences, describing how the school's construction had disturbed ancient burial grounds. Her writing suggested that the school was a focal point for malevolent spirits seeking revenge for the disruption of their resting place. As the night progressed, the atmosphere in the school grew increasingly oppressive. Emma, Jake, and Lily began to experience terrifying phenomena. Emma encountered the ghostly figure of a young girl who seemed to mimic her every move. The apparition's eyes were hollow, and its mournful gaze followed Emma with an unsettling intensity. Emma tried to escape, but the ghostly figure seemed to be leading her deeper into the building, into areas she had not yet explored. Jake was confronted by a dark, malevolent entity that seemed to feed off his fear. The entity's presence was accompanied by a chilling cold that left him breathless. He felt as if he were being suffocated by an unseen force, and the entity's sinister laughter echoed through the gymnasium, growing louder with each passing moment. Lily, meanwhile, found herself surrounded by the spectral figures of the missing students, their ghostly forms pleading for release. The spirits reached out to her, their eyes filled with desperation and sorrow. Lily's heart ached as she realized that these were the souls of the children who had vanished over the years, trapped in the school's nightmarish grasp. Desperate to reunite and escape, the trio struggled to find each other amidst the chaos. The school seemed to shift and change, its hallways twisting into an ever-changing labyrinth. Their flashlights flickered erratically, casting disturbing shadows that seemed to come alive. The oppressive atmosphere grew heavier, and a sense of despair enveloped them as they realized the true extent of the horror that awaited them. As they raced through the labyrinthine corridors, the school itself seemed to come alive, its walls groaning and shifting in an attempt to trap them. The darkness became almost tangible, pressing in on them from all sides. Each attempt to escape only seemed to lead them deeper into the heart of the school's malevolent presence. In the final moments of their ordeal, the trio was separated once more. Emma, Jake, and Lily each faced their own personal horrors, struggling to overcome their fears and find a way out. But the school's curse was relentless. One by one, they succumbed to the horrors that awaited them, their cries for help swallowed by the darkness. The next morning, the schoolhouse stood silent and still, its secrets once again locked away behind its decaying walls. The teenagers were never found, their disappearance adding to the growing legend of the horror school. The building remained an object of dread and fascination, a chilling reminder of the dark forces that lurked in the forgotten corners of the world. The story of the horror school grew into a cautionary tale, a testament to the power of the supernatural and the dangers of delving into the unknown. The ghosts of Emma, Jake, and Lily became a part of the school's haunted history, their spirits joining the ranks of the tormented souls trapped within its cursed walls.